Welcome to Talk About Topeka Live, coming to you from the Topeka Performing Arts Center. We're talking a little bit about Breast Cancer Awareness Month here on our Just Cause segment, brought to you by everythingtopeka.com. I'm your host, Chris Schultz, and let's talk about this world of boobies. We need to talk about this stuff, right? This is something, it would be something people look at and say, oh, you said boobies? Yeah, I did. I did say boobies, and you should say boobies. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. So we have Sarah Jepson here. How you doing, Sarah?
Good.
Good. I've been following you and your journey on Facebook, and I have to say, your courage and your spirit is inspiring to me.
Thank you.
Thank you for all that you're doing to turn a really sour situation into something that can be helpful to others. So give a round of applause for that. And we've got your sister here as well. Marilyn Ravel, how are you?
Marilyn Ravel, thank you.
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Glad to have you guys here with us. We're going to talk just a little bit about Making Strides for Breast Cancer. It's an annual walk that comes up. Marilyn, let's first of all talk a little bit about your story here.
My story is I'm 56 years old and never had any problems, no history of breast cancer in my family. Just went in for my annual mammogram right before my first ever cruise, probably my last. But they called and asked me to come back for a biopsy and some more tests, and I said, after I'm back from my cruise, thank you. 7 days in the Caribbean, it was great. So I came back and they said, yeah, you have breast cancer, we need to do a lumpectomy. And they thought it would be very simple, but when they got in there was cancer elsewhere, and so they took about a bunch of lymph nodes from under my left arm, so I have this little divot. It's about the baseball size of a hole, but it's fine. I recovered. But then when they did the CAT scan right after the surgery, they found out that it's already in my bones. So it's called metastatic breast cancer, or stage 4. Which means I'm living with it for the rest of my life, but I'm not dying from it. I'm just living with it right now. And otherwise, my doctor assured me I'm healthy and I should be around for a while. So there's brand new medications that they gave us, or that they approved, the FDA approved 6 months before I was diagnosed. So on the cutting edge of technology and research. And I'm currently taking this Ibrance. You've probably seen the commercials, the new you or the new Julie or the new normal, those different commercials that say these women are living with breast cancer and they're living with metastatic breast cancer the rest of their lives, but it stops the progression. So I'm still at the point where I was 2 years ago. I have a full life, I work full time, I have 10 grandkids, I'm on the go as much as I can, and then I get tired from the medication and I have to slow down and I just know my limits. But otherwise, I feel extremely blessed.
And this has touched both of you.
Yes.
And we want to make sure that people are aware and how they can help with this process. Research is so incredibly important because this is something that plagues a lot of people. And a lot of people don't even know that it plagues them until it's too late.
Right. There's no signs or symptoms.
Yeah.
And it just hits you. I mean, with a mammogram, everybody should have one. All the women should have one. And they're saying now, even younger than, don't wait until you're older, but to take it and take it seriously and do self-breast exams, which Sarah's going to talk about. But yeah, so the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer walk is going to be the last Saturday of the month, and it's going to be downtown. It's been at the lake the last few years. It's going to be downtown around the Capitol area, and I work downtown in one of the state office buildings, so we're going to go right past my office building, and we're going to have all kinds of fun stuff that day. All kinds of fun stuff. The walk starts at 9, registration's at 8, and there's going to be kids' activities, there's going to be a dance party, there's just stuff all around the route. And so it's just down, starting at the Capitol, South Steps, going down Jackson to 6th to Harrison, and back up to the Capitol, and then there another loop. So,
no other time throughout the year will you see so much talk of boobies in downtown. So get on down for it and help
and
support
all this
it.
pink. There'll be pink everywhere. Pink.
Absolutely. And thank you for sharing your story
Absolutely.
with us. I hope that anybody else out there can see this and see how this can touch them. And it can touch their families, and it's a responsibility almost to make sure that you're covered, right? Sarah, tell us a little bit about your story.
So I'm 38 years old. I'm a family nurse practitioner, and going through graduate school, I had the opportunity to learn how to do breast exams as part of my assessment on my patients. And I remember having the model and feeling it and experiencing what that felt like. And on February 21st of this year, I was in the shower doing my exam, and I felt something that I knew wasn't there before. And so I called my doctor. She got me in for a mammogram. About a week later, the following day, I had a biopsy and was confirmed on March 9th that I had stage 3 breast cancer that had spread to several lymph nodes. And not only did I have one small area, but behind some of my tissue, there was a larger 2.5 centimeter area. I had had a CAT scan for something completely unrelated a year and a half ago of my chest, and there was nothing there. So in a year and a half, I went from nothing to 2 tumors and 7 lymph nodes. So my thought in this is, I'm not even old enough to be offered a mammogram. It's not recommended that I be screened for it. I'm considered a low risk. I have no family history of any cancer whatsoever other than some lung cancer, but my grandfather smoked, so that explains that. But women need to understand that you don't have to be 40 to have breast cancer. I have several friends that have been diagnosed in their 20s, 30s, and soon after 40s because they've skipped their mammogram. And so I want people to understand that this is important. It can happen to anyone. Like I said, I'm low risk because I don't have family history. I've never had cancer before. I'm a healthy person. I've ran 3 half marathons in my life. I have 3 young kids. I nursed all 3 of them. So nothing in my history should say that I should have breast cancer. And here I'm here about a month out from my double mastectomy. I had to have several lymph nodes removed like Marilyn. So yeah, it's definitely changed my life. Had I caught it sooner, maybe I wouldn't have had to have gone through 16 rounds of chemotherapy. I start radiation on Monday, which is Monday through Friday, for 6 weeks, every single day.
And had you not been a physician, you may not have caught this to
I
know.
probably wouldn't have known what I was feeling and been
Right.
like, it's probably just, I'll bring it up at my next
And
checkup.
if you would have waited till 40 to get your mammogram.
I wouldn't have made it to 40.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So thank God everything turned out the way it did.
So everyone, please do your breast exams. I don't care how old you are. Get in the habit of it if you're in your teens. If you're in your 20s, take it seriously. Because had I not done mine, who knows how far it would have spread, in another year and a half. And I've got 2 9-year-old daughters at home and a 6-year-old son, my husband, and they would have been without a mom and a wife within probably 2 or 3 years had I not caught this.
Well, and again, thank you both for sharing your story on here, because it really should encourage folks watching this to get checked. And even me encouraging. I keep a set of boobies in my desk here, and I think it'd be kind of cool if maybe this really isn't mine, folks. But no, I thought it'd be a fun gag.
You just like to keep it in your desk.
I do, but no, this is an example of what you may be looking at if you are looking at breast cancer, right?
Right. So this is the exact thing that I learned on in grad school, and it's very realistic feeling. You can see on this one there's tumors in there, what are supposed to feel like tumors. But I take this, I took it to my old sorority house just this past week to Tri Delta at KU, and I taught a lot of the girls how to do their own self-breast exams. I've had this with me in the soccer parking lot and showed some moms how to do them. So I always have these with me, but I feel like once you know what to feel for, if you feel it on yourself, you would know. So the second that I felt that, I knew exactly what it was. And so I just feel like it's important for everybody to understand and realize what what normal breast tissue feels like on you, so that if something were to develop, you would recognize that that wasn't there the last time. So Marilyn and I we were both selected to be Portrait of Hope advocates for the American Cancer Society, and so that's why we're helping with this walk that's coming up. But I was really bothered once I started looking into the American Cancer Society's recommendations that just came out in January of 2018. And I was startled to find that they no longer recommend self-breast exams. I don't really quite understand their reasoning for it, but it has to do with false positives or false negatives and having radiation too soon. So they've also recommended that mammograms not be until 45, the option of being at 40. But I know a lot of women that would say, oh, I don't have family history, I'll just wait till I'm 45. So, and they've also recommended not to have your physician do it at your well-woman exam anymore because of the possibility of false negatives and the amount of radiation you would get to find out that it was normal or benign. But had I not done my self-breast exam, I would have died. So
That's an interesting change because it's not like you're not giving yourself a self-breast exam isn't giving yourself chemotherapy.
Right,
Right.
right.
You still have to go through the process to be able to do that. So
To be diagnosed.
Right.
why
and,
would
to go through all
to
those
not
steps.
be aware? I think
Yeah.
that
Right.
it is a
And-
very important message to always be aware. If you love your family and you want to stick around for a while,
right,
be aware.
And I want to point out one important thing, that men can get breast cancer too.
absolutely.
I had an uncle who had breast cancer, and he had a mastectomy.
Wow.
So men can get breast cancer as well. So, even men should know how to do this,
Right.
on a different level, but they should know how to do exams, and yeah, it's possible for everybody.
So in the grand scheme of things, if you feel like there's something that's not normal in your body, do something about it. Tell somebody about it. And I know as a busy mom, we often are too worried about our kids and getting to soccer, and we have this and we have that we kind of put our own health on the sideline. And so you really need to advocate for yourself. So if you feel like you feel something, you need to be calling your doctor. Don't just think, I'll push it off, because had I done that, had other women done that, they may not have had the best outcome. So the sooner you can find it, the less traumatic the treatment, is going to be, and it can save your life. So it's in your own hands.
Absolutely, literally.
Literally.
Yes.
Literally
In your
own
hands.
Right.
And yes, you need to advocate for yourself. And I'm like, as soon as something happens, I read everything I can find about it. And there's even Facebook groups for women who have metastatic breast cancer who are using the same medications. So we support each other and give each other ideas about, okay, you might have these side effects. Some people have these side effects. How long have they been taking it? How long has it been working? One of my sisters on Facebook has had metastatic breast cancer, and she's been taking the same drug that I am for 5 years. So she was in the trials. And so there's hope. And every day there's hope. The American Cancer Society helps provide research. There is a research grant that has been given to a doctor in Kansas City about discovering the protein that causes the cells to metastasize. So that's me. That's people like me that they're doing research right here in Kansas and Missouri.
It's people's
Yes.
children and grandchildren
Yes,
and
yes.
great-grandchildren.
30 years ago, it would have been a whole different picture for us.
Absolutely.
It would have been a whole different picture. So
Absolutely.
if you have to have it, now's a good time. I mean, no, we don't want to have it, but the
Yeah.
advances and everything over the last 20, 30, even 10 or 15 years has been amazing.
And we have to keep up the momentum.
Absolutely.
And that's what
Absolutely.
Making Strides is doing. And you guys sharing your stories, the courage that you have for what happened to you to be able to stand up and be able to share that and come on a show like this and talk about boobies with a guy like me. It's very cool. And I really do hope that more people will take it seriously, because it is preventable. It
Yes.
is something that there can be things done for it. Just don't wait too long.
And just, if you want to come out and join a pink parade on October 27th, registration's at 8, walk is at 9, and you can walk part of it, all of it, 2 laps around for the whole thing. It's just for awareness as much as for fundraising. So we just want to be aware.
In a great area in downtown Topeka,
Yes.
so a
Yes.
great new venue this year. So thank you so much for joining us on the show and telling us all about this very important message. Share this message with your friends because it needs to be spread. So look for Topeka ACS on Facebook, follow them, and if you see these guys out, thank them for their efforts, because we all need to spread a little love. And,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And support
yeah,
each other. You bet.
Absolutely.
And I have a personal Facebook page that is a public page, Sarah's Cancer Journey, or you can search
Definitely.
hashtag Sarah Strong. I cry on there, I laugh on there, I scream on
real.
there.
She goes live on
I
there?
go live on there and bawl my eyes out. So
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
it's like a soap opera.
I'm following it, and thank you for your courage. It's all good stuff. So, except for the cancer part.
Right.
Yeah.
We can get rid of that. So, well, folks, check it out. The Making Strides Against Breast Cancer March in downtown Topeka. You won't want to miss it. And we want to thank our sponsors here for making this possible. EverythingTopeka.com. It's home of the Topeka newsletter and maintains the most comprehensive list of ways to enjoy our community. Check it out, EverythingTopeka.com. And thank you for tuning in to this very important episode that you should share with all of your friends on Facebook and everywhere else to help save some lives here on Talk About Topeka.